Here we go, and we're live. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Let me mute this real quick. I know it's about to come on. Hopefully, we're good. I think we're good. Yep, we're good. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the stream. We were having some technical difficulties there, which is why we didn't get started at 7:30 on the dot. But it's good to see everyone here. You know what? We're not gonna waste much time tonight. We're gonna get right into it because we have some things that are very very interesting. Some things that are shocking and not shocking. And listen. We got some interesting topics for you guys tonight, but I'm back with co-host Matt. Like I said, you all can get used to seeing him, and listen. This is gonna be something consistent, and I'm very very excited for this. But so like I said, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Recapping the last game against the Pistons, I was kind of shocked that not shocked that we won, but I was a little like, all right, well, I was expecting Nate to blow this game, and I just knew that he was going to do it when I saw Justin Holiday substance at the game the first time, and that lead just went right away. So, Matt, what were
Yeah,
your thoughts on Nate McMillan and like how he kind of coached through the game, and was it classic Nate McMillan?
very much so classic. It was just, it was a rough game. I was concerned because, not so much the talent, from the Pistons because I know we're more talented, but it
Mhm.
has to do with the sense of urgency,
Yeah,
the attention to detail, and the um, just the effort and energy that we played with tonight. Last night. It was just not what you would expect of a championship team. Teams like the Pistons. Yeah, they're young and scrappy and whatever, but they shouldn't be competitive with us. Our talent is too. The talent gap there is too significant where you're on pins and needles the last 5 minutes wondering if we're going to win or lose that game. I mean that's absolutely crazy. Nate to me doesn't, again, last night he doesn't do anything that's unexpected. To come out after the game and say AJ Griffin didn't play because of you looked at the rotations and matchups and you thought that Justin Holiday would have served us better in that game. He played 21 minutes, 22 minutes, and gave you 2 points.
and he
You
said he
know,
matched him up against Boyan, who scored 33.
it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. He get just like I said, Justin Holiday gives you nothing. Absolutely. I mean, his defense.
I saw it
Okay, I
there in the
guess help
preseason.
defense, not primary defense on ball defense, is very bad. He gets blown by often. often. So if that's why you're not playing AJ, then I don't understand because at least AJ is going to give you the spacing and the shooting that will combat some of what he gives up on the defensive end to the extent that he gives up anything on the defensive end. So I didn't like that. I didn't like the rotations. I understand the staggered, that's coming from the front office. They want the Murray and Young staggered, but at the same time, I think you don't have to stagger them as long as he's doing. Um, and Murray, I put it in a group chat earlier. Murray's at 39 minutes a game. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a lot. And I know we're early in the season, but that's a lot. And that could explain possibly why, a lot of his shots were short last night. And he had a very good defensive game, but offensively, he was just not, he didn't have that second wind. Nate was, very, very mediocre, very average Nate. Um, you know, it's
yeah,
disappointing.
yeah. I was furious when I saw Justin come in the game. And by the way, welcome to the stream, Dave. It's good to see you. So that's a lot of minutes for Murray. I agree. Um, and he said the other team gets paid too, if I remember serves me correctly. The Pistons handled the Hawks last season. Yes, and the reason why you would be a little bit upset this year is because you add an all-star guard in the backcourt. You're supposed to get better on the defensive end. You have a lot of internal development, internal improvement. So you're expecting to be better than you were last season. And the thing that you look at championship teams, the Rockets, and they were going against the Bucks. I'm not saying the Rockets are a championship team, but the Bucks are. We struggled against the Rockets. We won by 10 against them. The Bucks won by 20. So you see I won't say I think that we go to playoff series right now against a team like Milwaukee. I think that it's a really good series. I think that we if we get Bogey back, I think we can win that series. But if not, I don't think we win the series with these rotations. So I'm just throwing examples out there of championship caliber teams. And yes, every team loses a game that they probably shouldn't, but you don't see it happening often where you're in a dogfight with a team that's in the lottery. And again, I'm not saying that these aren't NBA players with pride. These aren't, but what I'm saying is that let's be real here and know that the Hawks have a better team than the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons are without
significantly so.
Yeah, the Pistons are without Jaden Ivey. They're without Marvin Bagley, and we win by what did we win by?
5.
5. So that's not acceptable. You go against a real team with some real defense, not just even physicality, but you go against a real team with some real defense, like a Boston. Miami looked better last night, in my opinion. You go against a team like that. I think we're better than Miami, but it's gonna be an even tougher night, and you may end up dropping some of those games. So what I'm saying is that all these games you got to pick up. I think, but I'm happy we're 3-1. I'm happy that we're 3. I would like to be 4-0, but I'm happy we're 3-1. But it's disappointing to see, first of all, us come out and we're in a scrappy dogfight going down the stretch to a team that is nowhere near as good as us. And we're talking about competing for a championship. And then I'll kind of, in a way, finish it off with this, like with Nate, like, I don't understand what he was looking at the matchups, because you did not start Bojan Bogdanovic, but they started Bojan Bogdanovic. And you're talking about Justin Holiday had a better matchup when he was coming off the bench. So it just didn't make any sense to me. I thought it was a poor excuse, just always giving excuses on why you're not playing guys that make sense. No reason AJ Griffin should not have played last night. He gives us a lot more scoring. He gives us a lot more, in my opinion, versatility. I think that he gives us a lot more options out there. And the offense does not have to be ran through Trey the majority of the time when you have no shooters on the court. Yes, the offense is going to be one-on-one ISO ball with your point guard. So I just thought it was absurd and ridiculous that he came up with the excuse that I looked at the matchups and I thought that this was the best matchup to go with. So I just thought that was a poor, pitiful excuse that he always uses. He always used the matchups. He always used that the guys weren't ready, or they weren't doing this, they weren't doing that. What I saw in that Charlotte game in 4 minutes, and he put up 8 points. I saw something that I saw someone that deserves playing time. I saw someone that's ready. But you know what? We spent a lot of time talking about Nate last. We're not gonna spend too much time talking about him. Because if we do, then we'll end up talking about him for 50 minutes again. But so if I'm not mistaken, I think we play the Pistons again on Friday with Jaden Ivey. I think they have Jaden Ivey. I think they will have Marvin Bagley. If they do, I'm interested to see. I think you said last night that they would have more turnovers if they had Ivy. I can agree with that. I think that a lot of the pressure is taken off of Bojan.
Shout out to Ma.
Yeah, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Nothing much. We're just up here. We're just kind of recapping everything. We're going to talk about a few more other things. We just kind of want to get everything done with the games out of the way. But listen, I'll say this. Um, I think that we can. I think we will win again tomorrow. I think it's gonna be tough again. But if we come out with the right sense of urgency, um, I think that if Nate comes out and he's telling the guys like, listen, there's no reason that game should have been close. Like you even heard it with DeJounte Murray, the first game against Houston in the post game. He's like, the game was too close. The score was too close. You're not being unrealistic to think that you should win by more than what you won by against a team that has no all stars, but with a team that has two all stars and two emerging all stars. So I just think that if we're being realistic here, I think that you have I think that you have a problem if again if you're not winning these games by a lot, like I said. But I want to win. I want to be 4-1 tomorrow, heading into Milwaukee on that back to back. But what do you think are going to be the keys to winning big tomorrow? And do you think that we will win tomorrow? And what margin are you thinking?
So I think we will win tomorrow. I think we're better, but I I think the key really is you have to match their sense of urgency. They're 1-4, they don't want to go to 1-5, and they don't want to get off to a bad start. They're supposed to be a mini Memphis, right? So, or at least when I listen to like I said, I'm from Detroit, so I do listen to quite a bit of their media, and that's their thing. Like we're the Memphis from a couple years ago that won 38 games and made the playing tournament. So you don't want to give an upstart like that any sense of confidence, any sense of momentum. You want to stump that out, stump on their neck early, and discourage them and let them know that there is a clear talent gap here between where we are and where you are. And so Nate, to me, um, I'm not convinced he has them ready to play. Is very even last year, the last game of the season, that playing what a game before the playing tournament. We came out real lackadaisical, and if we would have lost that game, we would have had home court advantage in game the 9-10 game. So came out very lackadaisical in that game, very just nonchalant. Yesterday started the same way. Very non. Trey had it going early. You could see he started. He had it percolating, but everybody else, it was just no. Like I said, no sense of urgency, no sense of I got to put this. I got to put these guys away early. It was almost like, oh, we playing the Pistons. Whatever. They can't score what we could score, so we're just going,
We'll win
BS through the
anyways.
game. We'll win anyway, 125 to 110, something like that. But there was no sense like, oh no, we got to put these guys away early. Yesterday I talked about going to a zone. You got to cut off the paint. That's where they get their bread and butter is the paint. I know Bogdanovich shoot threes, but that's really the only 3-point shooter I'm really worried about on their team. Is Bogdanovich, and you can't lose him. They lost him so many times yesterday. He's wide open, and I'm like, how can you lose the best player on there? I mean, all due respect to Cunningham, but Bogdanovich right now is playing like their best player. So how can you lose him? I mean, even I hate when they trap and they blitz for no reason. But even if you want to do that to Bogdanovich, I understand that. But you cannot lose him. You cannot foul him either. On the 3-point line, DeAndre. You got to be glued to him. At this point, I'm willing to even shade coverage over to him and make everybody else beat me. At this point, to because I'll be honest, like I said, it came down to the last 5 minutes. I thought we were going to win the whole game. I was never really concerned, but you never really know when another team starts to get a double-digit lead, or they were close. I think they were up 8. You don't want it to stretch out because anything you could start not hitting your shot. Anything could happen where it could be put out of reach. So you never want to make a team that comfortable.
Yeah, and I think that's like the key thing. You make a team comfortable, you give them confidence, and they're gonna keep hanging in there. Now Dave says, do you guys think it's unfair to jump on the bench so soon into the season? No, I don't, and I won't say I'm jumping on the bench. I'm jumping on the coach for not going to his bench. Because like obviously we have our regular rotated guys that go, that goes, in and out of the game. Um, you know, I think we pull like what 4 guys off the bench or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm mad at Nate because you won't you said it you said it the other day. You were like, Nate is not an experiment coach. You are 4 games in the season, Nate. You're a 4. You got to see what works and not just go with what has worked in the past, even if it hasn't been on your team. Like, there is no way in the world that you should just be. I mean, it is ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. How Nate just he's just so set. He's never like trying anything new, and the fact that he won't experiment is the same reason why he won't give guys like AJ Griffin a chance, or the same reason he won't give a guy like Vit a chance, Tyrese Martin, these guys. I think these guys can really bring something. I'm gonna bring Matt number 2 or whatever y'all figure it out for today. Which Matt's gonna be number 1, but y'all got the same name, the same initials. I'm gonna bring him on. I don't think he has his camera on, but I'm just bringing him on. But go ahead, Matt. I'm muted too.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, there you go.
Is my camera not working?
It's black.
Yeah,
let me see if I can fix that real quick.
Okay. Go ahead, Matt.
But Nick Tyronn Lue says this all the time. Okay, I got to earn my job every day. Okay,
that's right.
I'm playing whoever I gotta play. I'm coaching like this is game 7. I'm throwing this dude on the team. I don't care if he played in the G League all week and today he get called up in the morning. Yep. I'm putting him out there. I think he could give me a positional advantage. And Nate never thinks like that. It's like, hey, this rotation I wrote out in training camp in July or in training camp in August. That's exactly what I'm gonna go with. You saw him look at it yesterday down at that play sheet, whatever. I don't know what he was looking at down there yesterday. Somebody didn't write in bold and a Sharpie. Justin Holiday can give you nothing. Why is he playing? So much. I don't have a problem throwing him out there for a minute, but you gotta, why are you playing this guy so much and he's not giving you anything? You have to be able to recognize and adapt, evolve. This guy, that's why Gerald and Demond kill me when I say Nate got to be creative. What I'm saying is, I'm playing this guy. He don't got it. 1 possession, 2 possessions, 3 possessions. Okay, now I'm looking around. Okay, he don't got it today. Let me get this other dude in. He don't got it today. Let me get this other dude in.
Anything to win the game.
Anything to win that game that day. And Nate does not think that way. He don't got the fire. He's not thinking that way. So that's when I say you want to be creative. You want to say, okay, Tyrese, they're physical. They want to be physical with us. Let me put in Tyrese Martin, who's also a physical player and can use up 6 fouls. Let me throw him on Cunningham or Bay, who's pushing off and being more physical than us. Let me throw in our physical guard. Let's match that physicality up and let's muck the game up if they want to play that way. But and I think if you would have done that, a lot of those transition threes that Bogdanovich hit, he wouldn't have been able to get an opportunity to hit them because the game would have been played in a half court. That's 1. 2, the bench lineup with Murray, Holidays, Jalen Johnson, and Onyeka Okongwu is not working. Okay, something is wrong with that lineup. I would propose to run the offense through Jalen as far as like letting him make the decisions from the high post, letting him bring the ball down the court. That way, Murray, all he has to do is score. He don't have to worry about setting people up. He don't have to worry about what play to get into. None of that. He could just the fact that we have any plays, but I digress. But to the extent that we have sets and stuff, let Jalen run that stuff and just have Murray focus on scoring. Run them off screens, run them going downhill towards the basket, get them a rhythm, right? And then that will, I mean, I can understand the floor is somewhat compromised because we don't have the shooting, but at the same time, you can do other creative things to get the floor spaced out and get people moving around where it's just not so stagnant as it is almost every time the second unit's in the game.
That's like wishful thinking right there. I just pictured that whole thing on the court, and I'm like, yeah, that's not Nate. You know, Nate is a pick and roll drop coverage type guy that that he runs that all game. He ran it when he was in Indiana. That's why he got swept by Brad Stevens in Boston. That's why he got swept by Miami. He's just a bland coach that does nothing else but just stand on the sidelines with his arms folded and goes into post games and says, "Well, I just thought, we weren't cool, calm, and collected, and I just thought that, we didn't get back. It's just we
had a fist.
we didn't have that fist today. We weren't connected out there. But let me welcome on the other Matt. This is gonna be something. Let me welcome on the other Matt. I'll go Matt.
What's going on, Matt?
I'll say Matt G.
That works.
This is gonna be something having two Matts up here. But what is your opinion on Nate McMillan and how he coached the Pistons game?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, it's typical Nate. I mean, he's just gonna do what he's gonna do. I mean, I just think that if we want to take the next step, we're gonna have to find a new coach. Like, he's kind of limited in what we can do with him. I mean, it's not all his fault, obviously. Like, he can't shoot for the players. Like, we got a lot of open shots that we missed. He can't defend, but he's just got to he doesn't make adjustments, and that's the main problem I have with him.
Yeah, he's poor at adjustments, and I think this, right. And like I said, we're not gonna stay on Nate too long, but I think that the biggest problem with Nate as well is Nate has no control over the locker room. And what I mean by that is Nate, in my opinion, I believe another reason why he could be set in his little rotation is it doesn't work. I've never seen someone stick to a rotation that really doesn't work. Like Justin Holiday wasn't working. It's like you don't need to bring Clint Capella in with like 3 minutes and 28 seconds left on the clock. Like what is this? This is not this is not you taking your medicine at a certain time. Like to me, I think another reason Nate has lost control of the locker room. Guys are running around saying, "No, I'm getting this plan." Justin Holiday get 22 minutes yesterday. Really? And you're telling me that Nate is back there talking about, "Well, Justin, you're just player of the game. You can get 22 minutes tonight, and you only scored 2 points, but that's okay. You got beat off the dribble a couple times. That's okay. AJ Griffin, you gave me 8 points in 3 minutes the other day, but that's okay. You're still not ready yet. It's like really, it's like, are you kidding me?" And then. Like, that's why, in my opinion, I do see that I do see him being gone very, very quickly. I think, like I said, any combination of these Pistons losses and combined with a New York Knicks loss, he could be doing exactly what we're all doing, sitting here at the house and watching the game. But anyways, if I don't move on, we'll be on this for another 20 minutes. So I guess we kind of already talked about the rotation schemes. Let's talk about some other Eastern Conference teams because I do think that this is surprising to me. I thought Philadelphia would be a lot better than this. I thought the Bulls are so surprising. The Bulls don't even have a point guard, and they're sitting up here winning games by big margins. You got Miami who beat Portland. I don't know. Like, honestly, I'm just confused with this Eastern Conference because I was expecting a lot different, and this is just not what I was expecting. But honestly, who do you think is going to finish off in the playoff bracket and in the play-in bracket? Either one of y'all can start. It's up to you.
You want to go ahead, or you want to go?
You got it.
So I'm not surprised by Philly, by the way, analyst. I told you during the summer. I thought that I didn't think. I'm looking at their roster and I'm like, they got rid of their shooting and they got defense, but the defense doesn't score. And Maxey, who they want to be a star, needs the ball, but Harton needs the ball, and they already play slow. And Doc is just as bad as Nate with his rotations and game planning.
Doc is
and
awful.
So now, did I think it was going to be this bad? I didn't, but I did. I think that they were a legitimate contender. No. So for me, the best team in the East is Boston, by far right now. It's just not the fact. Yeah, I say by far. It's just not the fact that they got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They play so much faster than they played last year. They get into their sets much quicker. Grant Williams is playing with a confidence he didn't have last year. Maybe it's because he's trying to get a new contract. I'm not sure, but they play much, and that was the problem last year to me. They played really slow, and they were kind of predictable a little bit. And defensively, I thought that without having Robert Williams, they were going to be give up a lot of points in the paint, and they were going to struggle because they had nobody on the back end. But they've pieced it together defensively pretty well. So I think Boston's one. Two, I got Milwaukee.
You think Milwaukee
just because of Giannis?
A far three? I mean, a far two?
I won't say by far. Boston's the only one that I think is legit, like top one, top two, and they're probably not moving through the whole rest of the season. I mean, Milwaukee, I'm doing that mostly because of Giannis. I think he's the best player in the league right now, so I think that's going to be really difficult to unseat them. And they win historically, they win a lot of games in the regular season. They get up a lot of threes. They're kind of hard to play against.
There's
three. I think talent-wise, we're third. I don't know if it'll play out that way simply because of Nate. And really, I think it might take a little while for our because it sounds like Bogey's not going to be coming back until Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving?
Around Thanksgiving. That's what it sounds like.
I heard that Bogey was trying to ease his way. I heard he hasn't practiced, but I heard him doing some light shooting. Thanksgiving. That's sounds like Nate needs to figure out this Justin Holiday thing a lot quicker. If we ain't got no shooting till Thanksgiving, we're gonna be every game's gonna be we're winning by 1 point or two. That's
well. Part of Thanksgiving is not just him playing, but him playing back to what he's capable of. So Thanksgiving is kind of that medium there. 4, I got Toronto.
Toronto stuff.
I think Nick Nurse is the best coach in the East.
I love Nick Nurse.
I really like their team. They don't really have any like true standouts to me, but as a collective, like they play hard. They do creative things on offense and defense. They got just enough scoring where they're competitive, but they're a very good defensive team as well. 5. See, that's where you get the Miamis, the Philadelphias. I don't think Brooklyn's a playoff team.
Really?
No.
I can agree. I think.
Okay, I'm gonna go Philly. I'm gonna go Philly 5 only because of Embiid. He's gonna probably turn into MVP Embiid soon. Just because, I mean, they got off to a really bad start considering what they're paying for the roster. They got some good pieces, but overall, I don't think it's as good as what people thought going into the season. And then 6, I'll just give it to Miami just because of their history, especially their recent history. And I think Spo is pretty good. So that's my playoff teams.
Yeah, like I think the Bucks and Celtics are definitely at the top of the East. I'd probably lean Milwaukee though, actually, if they have Middleton healthy. I just think their experience and Giannis would be the best player. So yeah, I'd probably lean Milwaukee there. And then yeah, after that, I kind of agree. Atlanta, Philly, Miami, Cleveland, probably in that 3 through 6, and then obviously Toronto as well. I'm a little lower on Toronto though, but I think they're gonna have a really good regular season. I'm not sure about playoff success, but I think they're gonna do really good in the regular season. Then you got like Chicago, Brooklyn, probably to fill out the play-in. That's what I would probably go with.
So I agree. I also lean more towards Milwaukee. I think I thought they were a championship team last year. If they have Chris Middleton out there, I think Boston doesn't stand a chance. So considering you're going to get Middleton back, and considering you added 2 guys, Marjon Beauchamp, and Joe Ingles, which in my opinion, I'm a huge fan of Joe Ingles, big wing that can shoot. When you get him down in the post, can defend a little bit. Not the perimeter defense, not the greatest, but you get him on a one-on-one in the post. I think it's gonna be a tough time for you. And then obviously, I think a lot of the players there actually got better. Look at Javon Carter. Like he's been lighting guys up off the bench. Like that little ugly shot is falling for him. So him and obviously Giannis is going to be Giannis, but those guys seem to just hurt you at the right time, right? You got Bobby Portis, you got Serge Ibaka, you got obviously Giannis, Drew, Chris, Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton. So it's just shooting everywhere, and they don't lack size while they do it. So I think I think John Horst has done a tremendous job constructing that roster. I think he's one of the better GMs in the NBA. Should be given credit for it. So Milwaukee is probably my number 1, Boston my number 2. I think, although I do think that I think we probably split this year again with Boston in the regular season, but some weird decision will be probably made to give Boston 2. I do think they're going to end up being 2. As of right now, I'm thinking Bogey coming back. I think we're going to end up being 3. I don't think it's even close right now. Considering I do like Toronto. That's why I have them at 4. And 5, 6, and 7 is 5 and 6 is just something that is tough to decide, because you can go Miami. I think Miami can go at 5, and then you got Cleveland, you got Philly. I think Philadelphia's going to end up being 6, maybe 7. The way they're looking right now, I was high on them before the season, but the way they're looking right now, they're not going to beat any of these teams. And you're not going to beat Boston. Like, you may lose to Washington. Like, you're not going to beat Toronto again tomorrow. Like, it's just really rough for them right now, especially if they keep Doc Rivers as their head coach. I'm gonna touch on Doc real quick. Last night, with 4 minutes to go in the game, he takes Embiid out for like a minute and a half break. Like, what are you doing? And their defense is awful. I was looking at a stat. They're one of the worst defensive transition teams in the league. Their team is just. I'm disappointed. They're disgraceful. They're disgraceful. but moving on. I think Philly. I don't know. At this point, I give up. The East is way too hard. Way too hard to predict right now. Because I think you got a lot of clustered teams who can take one of those spots, like Chicago, Cleveland, Philly, Miami. I don't think Brooklyn's going to be in it. I don't think, to me, the Knicks, they haven't, the Knicks are okay. Like, they're not.
They're 8 for me.
I think Brunson made them better. I do like Brunson. I knew that Brunson would be better in a number 1 type position. But they're just the Knicks, right? Like, the Knicks are gonna lose 10 straight games that they should have won 7 out of them, and they're gonna end up being at the bottom of the conference anyways. So I think that's that. Toronto, I have learned to give Toronto respect, because a lot of the times I put Toronto in the play-in tournament, and then they'll come out and they'll be the 5th seed. So I just think Toronto is one of those teams, but I don't know, it's just tough. But if I go back to us a little bit, our road trip, our rest of this road trip is tough. Like, we got Detroit tomorrow. We got to head to Milwaukee for Saturday. I think Sunday we got Toronto, and then New York. So those are.
I think it's Monday and Wednesday.
Monday and Wednesday.
I think Monday is New York. I mean, Monday is Toronto, and Wednesday is New York. But yeah, I think.
In my opinion, we have to win all these games. We got to win all these games, in my opinion. But if I had to say, go ahead.
I think the Milwaukee game is going to be tough. Just one, it's a back-to-back. Two,
now they are coming off a back-to-back too. They're going to be coming in from New York.
Yeah, but
New York's going to give them a hard time.
I think we always play Milwaukee, at least in the regular season. We usually play up to them a lot. Like, we're competitive with them. I think we're going to play well against them. Is that on the road?
Yeah, it's on the road.
That might be tough to win, but I think we'll play competitive with them. I'm not sure we'll win.
Yeah. If I had to say we'll lose, it feels weird going with us on a back-to-back against Milwaukee. I think we can win it.
Yeah.
If I had to say any game that we probably lose is probably going to be against Toronto, considering that Clint Capella is awful. We always get outrated by 30 by them. And Toronto just, man, Masai Ujiri, he is just something with drafting lengthy players that can grab boards, right? You draft Christian Koloko this year. You have a 6'9" point guard. Like no one has a 6'9". Delano Bantam, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He hasn't been bad at all this year. I think he's really playing well. And then looking at the rest of the roster, like Siakam is looking really, really good. Fred VanVleet hits timely shots. Gary Trent timely shots. OG's tough. Scotty, obviously. So they're not going to be any
Precious Achiuwa.
Who will probably end up bamboozling Capella. Probably end up grabbing every board that Capella should be grabbing. But listen, like Otto Porter. So I'm just looking at their roster. I'm like, okay, well, they do have I think they have every team beat on size, but we're gonna have to really put up a lot of points against that team because they're gonna score, and they're gonna score in the most ridiculous ways. Like I remember last year, Boucher, like we were in the game, and Boucher hits like 3-corner threes. It's like, really? It's like you didn't even hit threes. You hadn't been hitting threes all game, and then you just come out in the third quarter. Yeah, no, fourth quarter, and then he just hit those threes. So Toronto, I think if any game, I think they're going to be the team that we're going to end up losing to. But I think we can win all these games. I really don't want to see us lose to New York. That would be something that, no, that can't happen. that can't happen. So I mean, it doesn't get easier when you get home.
Yeah, that Pelicans game is gonna be. Yeah, I kind of had us dropping that Pelicans game.
I think is Ingram. I know Ingram and Zion might be out. That would be big if they would be out. I'm not sure how long he's out, but I know he had like a concussion or something.
Oh well, if they don't play, then yeah, we're good. But if they do play, just because on the first game of a road trip. It's not a super long road trip, but first game back on the road trip, typically you don't shoot well. You don't, and we've seen thus far, if we don't shoot well,
yeah,
the win is not coming from the bench. So, it's going to be tough.
I mean, you look at it, New Orleans, Milwaukee, Utah's no pushover. And then you got Philly on the back-to-back. So just looking at this schedule, but I'm glad it gets tough because, if we can get this one against Detroit, go 4-1, I would really love us to beat Milwaukee and go 5-1. But even if we go 4-2, I just hope that we don't drop both Milwaukee and Toronto. Like that would be something that would be classic Hawks. But I just hope we don't drop both of them. But I'm glad that it gets tough because, I want us to be playoff ready. I want us to be getting ready for the games going down the stretch because, after All-Star break, after the trade deadline, like those games are going to come. You're going to have every back-to-back that there is, and it's going to be a tough team. It's going to be a lot of tough teams. I mean, nights like when you're going to get Sacramento, you can't mark them off as a win. Even though I think we're better than them, you still can't mark them off as a win because, no one else will find a way to lose that game. Orlando was way too tough and way too close in my opinion. So it's just going to be a dogfight the whole season. I know we're going to drop a lot of games. By a lot, I mean, I do think that we're probably a 30 to 35, no, 30 to 33 loss team. I think we can win 50 games this year, but it's going to be tough. And even if you win 50 games, you still might be the 4th seed. So, I just think that it's going to be tough. But shifting gears real quick here, I don't know if you all watched the game last night, but what was your opinion on Doc Rivers? Did it make you feel a little bit better that we had Nate McMillan as our head coach?
I did not see the game. I have to go back and watch the game on demand.
If you're saying lack of creativity, you might throw up watching that game.
Philadelphia, I didn't believe in them, like I said, because they have a lot of fundamental issues. They have issues with they gave up a lot. Like I said, they gave up their spacing, they gave up their shooting.
To me, they gave that up in the Harden trade.
Yeah. And then they compounded that by they want they want Maxey to be the star, but he needs the ball. He's not a great shooter. He drives to the basket. He needs the ball. So does Harden. And B's down there. And then PJ Tucker gives you nothing. That's why offensively. That's why like Hawk fans are like, let's get PJ Tucker. I'm like, no, no. Maybe that might be cool. Like you could convince him to come off the bench or something like that, but not as a starter. That gives you.
No way you're starting now.
And then their bench is kind of weak as well. And then we all know Doc is Doc. They're no adjustment. He's not making any adjustments. They're going to play slow. Defensively, they're going to not do anything other than drop coverage with Embiid, which is crazy. So I'm a little bit surprised by their record, but I didn't think they were going to be like super competitive.
Yeah, and Doc's gonna go in every post game with this ashy voice saying, I just thought that we just didn't play well. Joel James, played well, and I thought Tobias, I thought that they could get something going, but our bench was weak tonight. It's like really, dude. It's like and he never takes any accountability. He's the exact same as Nate. I think him and Nate might be brothers. They never take accountability. Always I've never heard a coach speaking third person about their own team. He goes, I just think that I just thought they didn't play well, and they got to be better. You coach the team. It's like you're the coach. But, honestly, I do think they fired Doc Rivers in the middle of the year. And I think Sam Cassell might be that guy to light a fire under them and get going. You're both on mute, by the way.
Oh, I like Sam Cassell. I like Sam.
My bad. I was on mute too. All right. I'm sitting here talking. I was like, anyways, Matt, since you weren't up here the other night, I'm just winging this whole thing now. I ran out of topics. If the Hawks let go of Nate, who do you think would be some solid replacements, whether they're coached or assistant coaches?
I'd want Quinn Snyder, 100%. I think he's the best option on the table right now, and I just think he's a really solid coach. That's who I would go for at current time.
So I'm a fan of Quinn Snyder. I think that Quinn with the right group, I think we are the right group, can go very deep in the playoffs, could get to the finals. Because I think Quinn Snyder's, in my opinion, a great coach. Multiple 50-win seasons, multiple number one seeds. Just had a hard time getting out of the first round, getting out of the second round. That year they blew a 3-1 lead to Denver. That was disgraceful. But when you look at a Utah team that has Mike Conley as their point guard with playing two wings at the 4, it's like, yeah, you're not going to be very good. With Rudy I'm a fan of Rudy Gobert, but I don't know if that was the right fit with that team. It's just like
Yeah, I think he gets the most out of his roster, and I can't say the same for Nate.
Yeah, Nate is something else. Nate will sit there and don't get me started. Don't get me back on Nate. Don't get me back on Nate because Nate, my goodness, I can talk about Nate for the rest of the show. So go ahead.
I do want to ask Matt, since I didn't ask him before. What do you think they could do? The Hawks. I know we're 3-1, but I don't necessarily think we played that great. So, like, what do you think they could do better, or what? Yeah, what do you think they could do better?
As far as the team, or like just in general?
But in general, yeah.
Well, I think first off, not playing Justin Holiday could be a good start. I don't like that guy. I just don't like watching him on the court. I always feel like he's gonna break a shot or he's gonna get beat off the dribble. But I think it's just like it's about effort on defense and just like running some more sets, for DeJounte and Trey, putting them in positions to succeed. And I think it really starts defensively. I think offensively, we've been playing all right. We haven't played great, but I think the chemistry is going to come. I think defensively we just have to be better defensively. I think that's the most important part.
So you're saying that we should go out and get a defensive player?
Maybe.
Okay, so Matt. So let's talk about Matt. Matt. Let's talk about this defensive player that you don't like, Matisse Thybulle, who's not getting any minutes in Philadelphia. Who, in my opinion, easy all defensive team. It's not even a question. Who, if anyone questioned it, that's shameful. The Matisse Thybulle is hands down one of the best defenders I've ever seen. And now offensively, we gotta definitely make sure Bogey's on the court because if you replace Justin Holiday with Matisse Thybulle, the offense will completely stop. But Matisse Thybulle making $4 million. You got a $4.6 million trade exception. We can call up Daryl Morey and say, hey, I'll trade you 2 second-round picks. I'm not trading first for a guy that's not in your rotation. Let's go ahead and hand over Matisse Thybulle unless you're gonna use him. We need defense. We can put Matisse Thybulle in and make him guard the best player.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely not. No. Matisse Thybulle.
I'm sending you his defensive highlights right now. By the way, welcome to the stream, Tangu.
Matisse Thybulle to me is I won't say he's overrated because I don't know like how rated he is, but he's too offensively challenged to me, and his defense doesn't make up for it. So one, where is he going to play? That's one, right? So he's not going to play in front of Bogey. I don't think he should play in front of not Justin Holiday, anybody in front of Justin Holiday, but AJ Griffin. I don't think he should play in front of AJ Griffin. He's not going to play in front of Bogey. Where exactly is he going to play? That would be one question. And then two, the floor is already condensed. So not just who he's going to get minutes for, but where you're going to place him on the court and how you're going to make him effective. That would be my two questions.
So Matt G, what's your thought on Matisse Thybulle?
I would have to agree with Matt. I mean, he's a great defender, but I mean, our spacing is already horrible. Like, I couldn't imagine him out there. Like, sure, he's a great defender, but a guy that I would rather go out is Jay Crowder. That's a guy I'd rather have. I don't know what it would take to get him. It'd probably take a lot more, but his spacing and I think his defense is good enough. But yeah, I agree with Matt. I mean, 2 seconds, I wouldn't be opposed to doing 2 seconds for him, but it's like I'd rather go after someone like Jay.
So I'm just gonna call you Matt number one. Okay. This is too much for two Matts on here. But anyways, Jay Crowder, like I think Phoenix read the future a little bit, not taking Justin Holiday and a trade exception and a second round pick for Jay Crowder. Honestly, if we're talking about trading for Jay, the only player I could see them taking back is Bogey. I'm not trading Bogey. If you're not going to give me Cam Johnson and I'm not trading Bogdanovich. He's, in my opinion, like some people just view him as a role player. I think he's too good to give up. I think you weighed out who was better, Bogey or Kevin Herter. And listen, I was a Kevin Herter guy, but Bogdanovich is like when you're competing with Steph Curry, and as far as 3-point percentage, I think you're exceptional. And Bogey could get a little bit better on defense. I think that'll come with a healthy knee, but I'm not giving up Bogey unless you're going to give me one or two unprotected first, and they're not going to do that for a non-star. No team really does that for a non-star. Jalen Johnson, Matt is going to hate that. Jalen Johnson is Matt's guy.
Absolutely not.
So
he's safe. He's not going nowhere.
So it's like no one else on the team can get a Jay Crowder deal. Now, I would bite the bullet, honestly, and take on Jay Crowder's contract. Now, I know the Suns want to play her back, but I would say, you know what? If you can get off some money here, I would bite the bullet. He's an expiring contract, pay the tax for 1 year, get out of the tax in the offseason. That's what I would do. I would offer Jay Crowder. I'm not going to offer a first-round pick for Jay Crowder, but Jay Crowder, multiple seconds. I'm sorry, Justin Holiday, multiple seconds. They wanted Tyrese Martin, maybe. I don't know. A Jay Crowder deal is so difficult now that all your guys that you have under contract are either making such little money or the better guys are making the money that can match the contract. And like I said, I'm not trading Bogdanovich for him. It's just not happening.
I like Jay Crowder, but
so what would you give us? What is your trade package when you're talking to James Jones, who, by the way, I think is an awful GM, and I think you can. I think with a little bit more negotiation, you could talk him into doing something with Justin Holiday.
Justin Holiday. Let's see. Justin Holiday, and possibly that you don't want to give up that 24 pick, that Kevin Herter pick.
You can give up your 23 pick, but I'm not. If I'm going to give up,
I like this draft.
Yeah, but I was going to say, if I do give up, now I'm open to giving up the 23 overall pick, even though I think I think the draft is deep all the way down to 25, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are players that can come right in and get rotational minutes, not with Nate. But I would be willing to dangle a 2023 unprotected first-round pick around the league because, honestly, I think that can get you a lot of value back, considering that teams are really high on this draft. And if you're going to offer it unprotected, then I think teams will bite on that, and you can get really good value back. The only thing is that it's like Jay Crowder, like I said, he's making $10 million on an expiring deal. Justin Holiday, trade exception. I don't think you can do this, but I still won't even do it. I don't think you can do this, but I don't think you can trade just a pick swap. Arbitrate like a protected pick swap. I don't think you can trade. I think you can though. Arbitrate like a protected pick swap. I'm not giving up an unprotected pick swap, but like a pick swap, basically like in 2028, where if their pick is better than our pick, then they will obviously keep their pick. But if our pick is better than their pick, then past the protections, then they could take the pick, something like that. But second round picks are not going to get it done. A first would, I think they would take a first round pick for Jay Crowder, but I'm not giving up a first round pick for Jay Crowder. Not for a rental. I don't give up for like if I'm a GM, I'm not giving up a first round pick for a rental. By the way, welcome to the stream, Dominique.
I like Jay Crowder. I just worry how is he going to fit. Nate is already not creative, so I'm trying to think in my head how Jay Crowder is going to fit.
He's a better shooter than Justin Holiday. So
he's better than Justin Holiday. But I'm imagining like in the coming games, Justin Holiday's not in the rotation at all. One could dream, but
one could dream with Dolan.
He's not going to be able, and you're going to replace that with AJ Griffin minutes. And I stand with Jalen Johnson because he's so talented. To me, he's just used in the wrong way. He's not. His strengths are not. You have to stand in the corner and shoot, one every 3 possessions. And he's not a great 3-point shooter. He can hit a wide open, set shot, but that's not really his game. You should really be using him coming down, facilitating the offense, using him in a high post, using his court vision and his passing to get other guys easier shots and get more movement into the offense. But they don't. Nate he doesn't use them correctly. So I would be concerned to add in another player like Jay Crowder, who obviously wants to play real minutes, wants a role on a team. How would you integrate that into the second unit that's already kind of struggling?
Got something, Matt G?
I was just gonna say, as far as a trade offer, I know Matt wouldn't like this, but if we could get Jalen for Jay and get commitment out of Jay to, possibly sign an extension, I wouldn't accept it. I would think about it. That's all I would say. Because I'm just concerned about how, like, Jalen's skill set on this team. I just don't know if it fits. Like, he needs the ball, and with Nate's mind, it's just not going to work. I don't think.
It's not going to happen. Jalen Johnson, as of immediate impact, I take the trade. But as in my value for Jalen Johnson, I want some first-round picks back. Because Jalen Johnson, to me, has high potential. Do I think he's going to reach on this team? No.
Not under Nate. Now you get a more creative coach. This remind me. Now he's not the defender, but
I think he has potential for to be a good defender. Maybe elite.
I agree. I was gonna say I was gonna compliment to Draymond, right? But he's not that level of defender. But as far as the way that they use him, the dribble handoffs, the decision making, how they use Draymond versus how Mark Jackson used Draymond is completely different. This reminds me very similar of how Nate is using Jalen versus how another coach will use Jalen. So I would even play some John Collins and Jalen Johnson lineups, because John Collins can stretch the floor. Jalen would give you extra height at the rim for rebounding, especially I'm talking about tomorrow versus the Pistons, because they, Stewart is a handful down there. He's not that talented of a player, but he has a lot of energy, and he kind of bullied Clint a little bit towards the end of the game. In the middle of the game, but Clint kind of recovered a little bit. But he should have been just ashamed of himself the first 3 quarters. I mean,
Clint was so disgraceful. He was
Clint out of bounds, and Stewart got the rebound. And then you look at the replay, Stewart just pushed him out of bounds. And I'm like, that's my defensive stalwart, my great defensive center, and you can't even stand your ground against Stewart. Like, but Clint is another headache. He right up there with Nate. Like, he's close. He's a close second.
He's
the biggest headache on this team.
Yeah. I had a question, Matt. When you're saying you have Jalen and John play together, would you have John at the 5, or you'd have John at the 4 and Jalen at the 3, or how were you saying that?
I would put John at the 5. Small ball.
I like that. I like that too. I think
that was really our. Exactly.
According to Nate, we don't experiment. According to Nate, we don't experiment. We don't experiment according to Nate. That's not what winning teams do. According to Nate, we got to run our 9-man rotation 4 games into the season, and we got to stay cool, calm, and collected, and stay with the fist.
He just I think they will have to be. I don't think they're going to fire him in the middle of the season, only because.
Yeah,
I think we're going to be good enough to where it would be hard to fire him.
Exactly. Now, I think this is last season. I don't think he's coming back after this year unless we hold up that Larry O'Brien trophy. But
wait, you don't think? Let's say we would make the second round, lose in like 6. You think he's gone?
Yeah,
he's gone.
Interesting.
I think he's gone because I think the argument is, well, we've reached our we've reached our ceiling with our peak with Nate. It's time to go get a strategist and not a rah guy. Like,
AKA Chris Quinn.
He's rallying the troops and getting them to play hard. That's cool. That works for a period of time. But then it's time. Okay, I need a Ty Lue, a Nick Nurse. I need a guy who's going to outthink the other team and win us a couple games outside of our talent. That's where we are and where we should be heading going forward.
Yeah, because I think the only I'm not dismissing that Nate could be gone during the season because I've heard some interesting things about if Nate goes on one of those tantrums like he did last season and we dropped like 7-8 games consecutively.
That was just late last year.
But I did hear that Travis is not one to derail the season, and I kind of agree because listen, I like Joe Prunty, but it was the head coach for the rest of the season. I don't think that's gonna do anything. He's not gonna come in and light a fire under the guys. He's gonna come in and say, you know what, I'm old. I'm not gonna be involved in any practices. Just play the game. So yes, I do think it's time for Chris Quinn or one of those. I
like Chris Quinn.
One of those.
Darren Collins.
Yeah, just I'm looking like I want a sharp mind as the head coach who's gonna use anyone on the roster. If you're on the roster, we're gonna use you. And you saw that with the in LA with the emergence of Jason Preston and Amir Coffey. So Ty Lue just throwing him into the fire and just giving him a legit chance. But Nate would never do that because according to him, that's experimenting. And how ironic, Tyronn Lue has a ring, multiple rings, but
even Nick Nurse. You look at Toronto right before when they had Dwayne Casey as opposed to Nick Nurse. Pascal Siakam barely played. Van Fleet barely played. It was coming off the bench. Everybody who he gets credit for developing never played under him. But then Nick Nurse move over a seat and they take off. So I'm just Nate is so crazy. Like his son is on the coaching staff. Nobody understands why or what what value he adds to the team. But you would think he would be like, "Hey, Dad, we got to get more creative. We got to, because I was looking at him. He can't be no older than 35. So
he's not.
You would think he would be giving his dad some ideas. Try this, do this. More relatable. Use analytics, but. This I don't know. Maybe the whole family is stuck in the 90s.
His son is a disgrace too. I just want to say that. I think his son is responsible for the film, and he should have been fired after the Charlotte game because he didn't watch any film on Charlotte. If you're still playing drop coverage defense, it's just out of my mind. So that's ridiculous. I'm going to talk about a few more defensive players. I thought that was something interesting. I'm going to talk about another player that is not going to be easy to get that I would trade an unprotected first for. Maybe we can't trade two unprotected first, but we can, but it'd be way down the road. And I don't want to give up picks in 2029 when I don't mind, but it's a little risky when you're not giving back a star. So what are you guys' thoughts on OG Anunoby?
I'd say he costs too much. I like DeAndre. I think OG would probably have to. Well, how would the trade? You trade DeAndre for him, or you just picks, or how would that work?
So, I've heard Masai Ujiri is open if he gets unprotected picks. So. Again, I'm sorry, Matt, but Jalen Johnson would be an intriguing piece. Jalen Johnson would be an intriguing piece to Toronto. And I heard they're really high on Jalen Johnson. I heard they value Jalen Johnson 3 first-round picks, which is insane. Jalen Johnson, Justin Holiday.
And some firsts, probably.
I would swap Clint Capella for him. I would swap Clint. I heard they're high on Clint. Now you figure
a guy I'd rather go after on that team is Gary Trent I think you could get him for cheaper.
I like Gary.
And I think he fits the role a little better.
He's
I think OG's just a little too good to be coming off the bench. He's a great player, but I feel like Gary. I'd rather go after Gary. If we could do like Clint and something around Clint and get Gary Trent, I think that would be great.
Exactly where I was heading. I like Gary Trent Jr. I thought we should have traded for him last year. It was available.
There was some offers out there for Gary Trent.
It was available, but they didn't want to give up Kevin Herb, but they traded him anyway. But anyway, I like Gary Trent a lot. I like his defense. I like the fact that he hunts his shot, and you need that sometimes. You don't, because kind of need to stop Trey from himself sometimes. So you need a guy that's going to shoot the ball and not pass it back to him all the time. Now, on this team, I'm thinking maybe you can move Bogey to the 3, and you have Murray, Gary Trent, Bogey, Jalen Johnson, and Onyeka Okongwu. Okay, I like that. You got shooting, you got defense, you got rebounding. I like that. I don't know. I just think you have to convince him though to come. I think you have to convince him to come off the bench and play limited minutes after starting in Toronto the last 2 years.
I think what Nate would do is play him. I think Nate will play him Bogey's minutes last year and cut off a little Bogey's minutes, which to me, I like Bogey, like I said. So a structure of a deal that I would do with Toronto is trade Clint Capella, Justin Holiday, Frank Kaminsky, 23 unprotected to get Gary Trent and Precious Achiuwa back.
I would do that right now. I would do that right now.
If I could get if they say no to that, then I would take the pick back and I'll say just because the match salaries you have to throw in someone else. So if they said no to that, I would take the pick off the table and say give me like Thaddeus Young or something like that.
I like him too though. I like Thaddeus Young.
Yeah, I think he's
solid.
solid.
What's up, Demond?
What's good, family? Well, who y'all over here already, man?
Huh?
Y'all over here making trades already?
Hey, we talking about Clint Capella trade. No, we're talking.
Hey, get Capella out of town.
Yeah, we don't have nobody to replace him, man.
I think Okongwu. He's coming. He's coming. I don't know if he's ready yet, but he's coming.
Demond,
he's coming. Hey, Demond, he's coming fast.
He's too short.
I think he can fit in the modern era.
He's too short to be a starting 5 in the NBA, bro. Y'all didn't see him get manhandled by what's my man name from the Pelicans? Valanciunas. You didn't.
That's true. He got destroyed.
I saw my starting center get destroyed too.
Valanciunas jump over his head and just take the rebound. He too short, man. Well, y'all living in La La Land, bro. This Okongwu shit.
So I think Onyeka, if he put on a little bit more muscle, I'm discouraged he's not going to grow anymore. I'm just discouraged he's not going to grow anymore because if he's really not going to grow anymore, he's going to have to come out looking like he's going to have to come out looking almost bigger than Isaiah Stewart, because if not, then I know he plays solid defense against a guy like Embiid, but Embiid is gonna do some things to him that's not going to be look pretty. And I'm thinking about competitors around the Eastern Conference.
Man, y'all overhype Okongwu defense, man. He's not that great of a defender, dog.
Really?
I don't know where y'all come up with this stuff at, man. Like y'all come up with this stuff. Okongwu's such a good defender. Dre Hunter, he's the best defender. None of these dudes. Clint Capella, he's the anchor. Not none of them dudes.
Oh no! I said Clint Capella won the anchor.
Those dudes has not even sniffed making an All NBA defensive team. Period.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the minutes, right? You got to play a certain number of minutes. You got to play a certain number of games to qualify. I think Hunter's definitely is probably above Okongwu as far as a defender. And then Okongwu, I think he's a really good defender, especially on the perimeter. He switches off very well.
He switches pretty well.
He got to get the rebounding up and he got to get stronger, but I'm not really concerned about – I know he'll get – he's what, 22, 23?
I think he's 20.
So I'm not really – 22, something like that. I'm not really worried about him getting strong, and that'll come over time. But he's significantly, I think, I know, like you don't want to look at solely base the decision off of numbers and analytics, but we're significantly better as a team with Okongwu playing major minutes as opposed to Capella. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't go get like a 7-footer, DeAndre Drummond or a DeAndre Drummond or somebody like that behind Onyeka. I have no problem getting a real 7-footer behind him, but I think he is the future at the center position for us.
I 100% agree with Matt there. I'm a big Okongwu fan.
So, Damon, let me ask you this before we end up having an argument over here because I already know where you're going. So the trade that I asked them about, they both said they would do it. Would you do this? Trade Clint Capella, Justin Holiday, Frank Kaminsky, 2023 unprotected first-round pick to get back Gary Trent Jr. and Precious Achiuwa.
No.
You wouldn't do that?
No.
So you don't think that makes us better?
You know what would make us better if we just go get one of these big men sitting right here for free that you can sign for that minimum and not give up no talent. Because this is my point.
We got to move on from Clint.
For a backup big man. That's what I want, a backup big. Capella does just fine as far as the help defense, okay? I don't expect him to score the ball because we know he can't score the ball. Okongwu, he too short to be an everyday starter. We would get dominated on the boards because he can't give you nothing. He probably gonna be in foul trouble trying to guard these bigger dudes, right? Just go get one of these free dudes. They don't have to be worth a damn. You got Cauley Stein, Dwight Howard, tons of dudes. But you know what's so funny though? It don't even matter. You know why? Because Nate not gonna play their ass anyway. Because we got a 7-footer sitting on the bench who didn't get no burn while we was getting 8 up on the boards early in the other game. He just said he sit there.
Yeah.
Did y'all talk about Nate already? Why he running?
Yeah.
Why is he running a playoff rotation? 4 games. He playing 9 dudes. That's ridiculous. That's why. And this have nothing to do. See, last year was different because the young dudes was rookies. These dudes, they got years in the league now. There's no excuse for him not to play Frank Kaminsky. There's no excuse for him not to give AJ Griffin a burn. You know, at Griffin is not even on a 2-way. So the only major minutes he can get is in Atlanta, unless they send him down to College Park, which they probably not going to do. So it don't even matter, man. Until Nate get his head out his ass and decide to try something different besides sticking to his old school rotation. Okay, that he run the rotation. It's so predictable, man. Like I be calling it doing the watch alongs. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a trade finna come. I mean, DeJounte about to come out.
Yep.
Same thing. Just like he took out Hunter. Was that game 2? Hunter was cooking. And then he just took him out for no damn reason. So it don't matter, man. Till Nate get his head, because you know Nate got 25 games with me, bro. And then he can get the hell on if we not noise for real. Because I'm tired of that 5-finger fist crap he be calling. Why the hell did he fly to Oklahoma to see Trae Young? Like that's weird to me. You flew out to Oklahoma to see Trae, but you see him every day. What do you need to discuss? You should have been seeing Clint Capella ass. Is he at the gym getting some shots up? It's free throws. That's what he should have been doing. But he want to go to Trae Young's house and talk about him playing all ball. That's such stupid shit.
And he also he was like, man, that young man, he has a nice setup up there.
They lucky, bro. They lucky. if I was one of them reporters, man, they wouldn't let after the first interview, they wouldn't let me in there because I asked them real questions. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, they'll take your credentials. That you
Yeah,
Oh man,
I get one
you
shot.
can't come back.
You know what
there
I'm
we
saying?
go.
Because it don't
Lamar
even.
add a little spark to the show.
And you got Jalen Johnson, and I'm gonna be. You know what? I'm gonna be real with y'all. I think the front office is forcing him to play Jalen Johnson.
Yeah,
That's what I think personally. Because why would he just play him out the blue now? He just play him out the blue now. He ain't playing him no time last year. Worth a damn.
and you realize that forward / center position is looking real weak.
Well. Hold on
And
now. Hold on now.
no,
Jay-
I'm saying that. I'm saying that in favor of. Listen, the front office is forcing Nate to play Jalen Johnson because let me tell you, Nate McMillan, Jalen Johnson is still being a G League right now. He'll still be in College Park, averaging a double, and let me tell you, the front office has to force him to play him because they didn't just waste a first round pick on him and expect him to be doing his thing in College Park. It doesn't make any sense.
What the front office also needs to do is force Nate to play Griffin too.
They tried with the implement
It's
that,
gotta
that, whole,
happen.
that whole sick thing.
Maybe if your general manager wasn't picking forwards all the time, right? Every year he picked the same type of player, 6'8", 6'9" forward.
But Demond, that's what he said. If he could go in a lab and make a team, they will all be between 6'3" and 6'9". All can dribble, pass, and shoot. They're all interchangeable, and they all play on the string.
Who said that?
Travis.
Then why he ain't done it?
Well,
No, I'm saying that's why he keep drafting forwards. That's why he keep drafting 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" players because
yeah,
that's the team he wants.
I mean, I
we
think
don't want
AJ was the right pick.
And he ain't. And
Yeah.
we with all that nothing. We ain't done nothing.
No, I'm saying that's why we don't got those 7'1", 7'2" dudes over there because he prefers.
That's why we didn't grab Walker Kessler.
I be
telling
y'all, man. That dude, when he was in Golden State, he didn't build that team. He wasn't that one. He wasn't he was an assistant general manager. He was a do boy. Get the coffee, make sure the stats is laid out for the real general manager to make the decisions.
Well, you weren't getting Bob Myers though. I mean, most GMs around the league.
People always go back to that and be like, but he came from Golden State. He ain't build that stuff over there, man. He over here experimenting, man.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know about
experiment. But hey, I read Bob Myers. I just seen an interview with Bob Myers. Bob Myers said they still haven't replaced him 6 years later. They said he was there. He said they got 4 dudes running their draft, and he said before he could just trust Travis with the whole thing. Now he got 4 dudes running his draft.
You believe that, bro? You really believe?
I do because it's actually true.
What is Bob Myers? What is Bob Myers? What he supposed to say?
Well, Bob Myers could not address it.
He don't got to bring him up at all.
He could not address. Let me say this. Let me tell you, because Travis was in charge of the drafting in Golden State. But any GM will tell you that their assistant GMs do majority of the homework. And the general manager it say, take that away from my desk or let's do it. They may take the phone calls when they get to a certain point, but it's like, so here the point I'm trying to make is you see a real person who was in charge of drafting for a real organization versus someone like the Spurs hired Brian Wright, who was in charge of the Pistons drafting and did not doing a good job at all where he's at. So what I'm saying is, I think, listen, y'all know my view on Travis. I think Travis is
Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio ain't do nothing in San Antonio. They ain't got nothing over there that's worth looking at. They ain't got nothing over there that's worth looking at.
Keldon Johnson ain't no good.
Keldon Johnson,
he all right.
He's like,
he all right. Hey, do you think he's more talented than Hunter?
What's up?
Do you think he's more talented than DeAndre?
He more aggressive than DeAndre. DeAndre, he too beta for me, man. He too beta with the ball, man. All he want to do is listen. Like I told y'all, man. As long as he start attacking the basket, right, he can give us 20 points. As you can see, now he's starting to. How long I've been saying DeAndre attack the basket? How long I've been saying that?
I'm saying
Years,
for a while,
yeah.
And now he decided to start doing the shit. And he don't do it enough for my taking. And then his free throw, he need to get them free throws up too. I said he need to attack the basket. And Hunter should be shooting 80% from the free throw line. Point blank, period. I can't have my small forward shooting 70%. That's LeBron James area. Okay?
Yeah.
The Hunter should be shooting 80% from the free throw line. And he can give us 20 a night. You know what I'm saying? But he lack aggressiveness. That's the thing that separates Hunter from like DeJounte. DeJounte play aggressively. You know what I'm saying? Hunter too passive. You know what I'm saying? He remind me of Kevin Herter. He do Herter.
Well, yeah, I'll say this because I kind of know why he's that way because DeAndre Hunter ain't proved nothing yet. I think, and I'm just saying, I agree with you. I'm just saying that DeAndre Hunter, listen, if DeAndre Hunter got the ball and Trey called him for the ball, he gonna pass him the ball. Or what he'll do is he'll take a dumb mid-range shot over like two guys. But no, he's passing the ball to Trey Young. I mean, that's the same thing Herter did. That's the same thing last year. Even
Well,
John
you see what Herter doing in
at
Sacramento?
times. Yeah, they give him the freedom over there.
Yeah,
man. What do you average? 17 a game?
Bro, he hit for 21 game and then came back and had 6. The same shit he did.
Let's take a look because Kevin Herter, my guy.
Let me tell you what Herter gonna do over there. He gonna get him them same 11 points that he gave us.
Well,
what?
Well, I don't think
he ever got off to this. I don't think he ever got off to a 17-point a game start here. I don't think he ever did that.
He gonna give you 11 points. That's what he gonna do. By the time the season ends, hell, by the time it's All-Star, he'll be about 11, 12 points a night. Still messing up on the inbound passes. An NBA player scared to inbound the ball. Right.
I mean, I'd still rather have him than Justin Holiday playing right now.
Oh
so
my
at least
God.
Hey, you get what you pay for. These dudes don't want to spend that money. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Get what you pay for. They could have kept Kevin Herter. They didn't have to trade him. They didn't have to.
That came from up high though. They didn't want to pay that. They didn't want to pay that
because their contract is terrible. That's why. For the production that you get. That's what I've been saying, right? If the contract wasn't bad, why would you get rid of him?
It wasn't. No. It wasn't that the contract was bad. It was like you don't want to pay the luxury tax. You don't want to pay the luxury tax for this. Well, you don't want to pay the luxury tax when Nate is your coach. I mean, you just don't.
Sure. I think that argument right. If Kevin Herter signed that contract right and then came out and averaged 21 points, you think we would have traded him because we don't want to pay the tax? No.
I mean, no, but he didn't have a bad year last year. I mean, in the playoffs, that's different. But during the regular season, I don't think he played bad.
He didn't, but his production didn't match the money. Kevin Herter gonna give you the same thing. One thing about Kevin Herter, he consistent. He gonna give you 11 points, couple boards, maybe 2 or 3 assists. That's about it. Because he, like Hunter, lacks aggressiveness. And remember what I told y'all. I think it was drilled into his head when you get the ball, pass it to Trey. I think it was drilled in his head. Remember that? I don't know. I know Adam's not old enough, but remember the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? When Will was on the basketball team and the coach told everybody on the team, pass it to Will. That's what they told Kevin Herter. Pass it to Trey. I don't care what you got going on. Pass it to Trey. Because you can't sit here and tell me that dude, I told y'all, that dude could be a Utah Jazz version of Gordon Hayward. He's 6'7". He can shoot. Only thing he lacks is aggressiveness. That's it. We've seen him on the big stage make big plays in that game 7, giving us 27 to close the series. So we know it's there. But
I don't know, the headband, I think he's aggressive now.
And he ain't got all the Trey all the time.
Yeah.
But I still think we would have traded him because I don't think they would have paid the tax this year because you got to think the money.
You really only want to pay the tax when you're going to win it. When you feel like you can win a championship.
Man, think about guys. Think about what we're saying here. A billionaire. We talk about a billionaire don't want to pay luxury tax. Come on, man.
I mean, you got a lot of owners around the league who trying to avoid the luxury
Hey,
tax.
Jenny Bus, like, why she angry? She like, why am I paying a luxury tax?
Jody
And
Allen was
he's winning
mad.
35 games.
That's
Yeah.
because you don't know shit else about basketball. That's all she knows. Is that I'm paying it. That's all she knows. She don't know what the fuck going on. Let's be real.
Wow.
Grew up around basketball and still don't know what the fuck going on. That's why the Lakers look like shit right now.
Now the Lakers ain't got no shooting. The
He
Lakers were horrible.
Trade AD, get the assets. Okay, let Russell Westbrook contract expire. Right, let LeBron leave. You get all your cap space back. You rebuild. And what I would do, I would re-sign Russell Westbrook to a way cheaper contract just so I can have a little name while we rebuild with these young boys. But the Lakers so stupid, they just blaming everything on Russell Westbrook when he ain't even the problem. The whole team can't shoot.
Well,
Yeah. Well, this is they're paying for that AD trade now because they traded all their assets and the Pelicans deferred it all until now. So now they don't have no assets to get better.
Because they don't.
They could dump LeBron in them, but I don't think they're gonna do that because
If I'm the Lakers, I'm
Go ahead.
trading Russ, whatever it takes to get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, and just running it back and hoping for this because
But I'm
at this
saying,
point they're better.
Matt, you put Buddy Hield on that team right now. You know what? The Lakers ain't competing for no championship.
That's
Buddy-
probably true.
but they're a playoff team at least.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
what we watching. This is a lottery team.
They will not make the playoff this year. At best, they will make the play-in with Buddy
Yeah,
Hield or
yeah,
without Buddy
yeah.
Hield.
well,
Yeah, I
I think
agree with
when you
that.
get, I think if you get a guy like, I think you get two guys like Buddy Hield, Miles Turner. I think that changes. I think it gets a lot of that gunk out of the locker room because listen, I won't blame it all on Russ, but listen, right now I don't think he's healthy for that team. But I think when you got a guy like LeBron or AD penetrating, you got Buddy Hield on the perimeter, even Miles Turner on the perimeter. I think you're gonna have a lot more because their games are close until like the end. But I think Buddy Hield, Miles Turner wouldn't be my
awful.
yeah, but Buddy Hield, Miles Turner wouldn't be my first trade call. I would call Utah and try to get Clarkston, Malik Beasley, and maybe a guy like Mike Conley, and just move. Like to me, like if you're not going to rebuild, move the picks. If you already in your mind and you have, all right, I'm rebuilding here in the next few years, then keep the picks and just be straight up honest with the franchise and be like, we feel like this is the best for right now.
That's
But they don't got no picks in the 27.
Yeah.
Because Pelinka already know they're gonna be shitty. That's why
Yeah.
I'm saying, listen, you're not gonna get. I did a show on this today, man, because I had to say something. Listen, you're not gonna get nothing for Russell Westbrook worth a damn, bro. Nothing that's gonna say, you know what? Now we're championship contenders. Nothing. You ain't getting nothing for him. And he's an expiring contract. So why would I trade him to go get Buddy Hield, Turner, who probably now I got more money coming in for a longer period of time, who ain't gonna take me to a championship. So let Russ play. What they need to do is LeBron should be off ball, okay, because his ass can't shoot. He needs to be playing off ball. Let Russ do his thing. Let him dominate the ball. Let him drive, kick it to LeBron. Because LeBron can't shoot, but he shoot better than Russ, right? Let LeBron be out there on the perimeter. AD, though, AD should be averaging 30 and 10 right now. Remember, the plan was for AD to take over the Lakers from LeBron.
I don't know who thought of that.
He did 22 and 10 last night. 22 and 14. No, you need 30. And AD ain't valuable.
Yeah.
That's their best asset, bro. Trade them. You could trade AD. You could get at least two good young players, right? And picks, right? Run them, develop them. The Lakers' problem, they have no patience. That's why if they just would have kept the dudes they traded for AD, they'd be winning right now.
Brandon Ingram, man.
Yeah.
Ingram. Look, they got rid of Ingram, Ball, Kuzma, D'Lo, Randall. How many All-Stars is that? B.I. All-Star. Randall was All-Star.
Russell was an all-star for a year.
There you go.
Yeah,
Look, that's 3 all-star they gave up for 1. Now look at
Well,
it.
I guess for them, they traded all that for a championship. So
Yeah, but see,
But that's why I said I'm more of a sustainability guy.
for
If
the
I
Hawks,
don't,
I'll trade anybody for a freaking championship. I don't care. Because why? We don't have nothing. So it's different. It'll hit. One championship with us will be like everything to us. You feel me?
yeah,
yeah,
that's
but
true.
Lakers
That's
and
true.
Celtics have so many championships. That's why that's all they do is go for championships. Us, Nick, let me tell you something. If they could guarantee me if you trade Trae Young, you'll win the champ, but he gone.
I don't know. That's a bridge too far.
I'm just saying, if I had guaranteed, they like, hey,
Oh, I see what you said.
if the basketball god came to me and said, Trey, and you will win the title, his ass gone the next day. I'm sorry. Because we don't have nothing. We never been to the finals as the Atlanta Hawks. You know what I'm saying? So for us, that one title will mean everything. So I would risk 10 years of being the worst team in the NBA for one championship. Because we ain't never won shit. And how long we been in Atlanta? 60 what? Since 64, 67?
yeah, I was looking at them banners and it said last finals appearance in 1950. I said, God.
We the only ones who got division banners hanging up.
I said, and that wasn't even a title. That was a divisional. That was like a finals appearance, and it was like, it's like, man, it's like we've been. But I think this. If I'm the Hawks,
yeah,
personally, I feel like you're trending very well in the right direction. You got, I think, getting Murray with the development and emergence of Hunter and Collins, I think you're looking in the right direction. Now, do I think we need a third star? I think if this year, if you after the playoffs, if you say, you know what, we needed another guy that we can say, you know what, go get us a bucket. I think you go out and I think you do it, but to compare us to do what the Lakers did, like let's just say right now, right? Like if we went out and we traded all our assets for let's just say that this guy can help us. Let's just say that this guy would guarantee us one championship, but the same situation that the Lakers are in. If we go out and trade for Damian Lillard, right? I'm thinking about injury prone type guys, Anthony Davis injury prone. And we went out and we traded what? 3 unprotected picks, 3 unprotected pick swaps. We gave up all of our young players like Hunter and all these guys turned into all-stars, right? And then we get the championship. And then it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I would love that championship. But then you look after that, and then next year we trade away everyone for John Wall. And then after that, we sign a whole bunch of old players on vet minimum deals. And we suck, and the 8th overall pick is heading to Portland. It's like, I understand, like, for us, like, we never won a championship, but that's why, like, even for me, I'm more for, like, sustainability. Like the Bucks are sustainable. Like, the Bucks are going to be contenders for the next, at least for the next, in my opinion, 4 or 5 years. The Celtics are going to be sustainable. Like all these,
or even that's what the Clippers did, right? The Clippers said, "All right, we never won a championship. Let's go out and pay a luxury tax for Kawhi and Paul George to help us win." They haven't obviously won anything yet. I think they're coming out the West this year, but I don't know.
If I was the Lakers, you know what I'll do? I agree. I think that this AD and LeBron trend is not working anymore. So what I would do, trade AD, get 2, like Ramon said, get 2 young players, get a lot of draft capital, maybe get a role player, and then letting Russ expire is probably not a bad idea. Open up that cap space, and then whatever young players you got, along with whatever role players, like honestly, you're the Lakers. Like, you're going to be an attractive destination for players to sign. So I wouldn't get a player such late in their career, but I would sign a player, it's right around their prime that became a free agent that is willing to play for the Lakers, and then we'll just build a roster from there with the young guys, the young assets that we got from Anthony Davis, and then whoever we just brought in, along with LeBron, if he's still playing at that time. If not, then that's more money. But I don't think the Lakers are ever going to go into a full rebuild and actually stick with it and let it and watch it develop. So I would go with more of keep young players, as many young players as you can, and try to blend that with some really good stars that you're probably going to end up signing in free agency.
See, the thing is this, man. See, you want sustainability. You know why you want sustainability, analysts? Because that's why.
Say it again. You cut out.
How old are you? 15, 16?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 45, analyst.
Oh.
I've been rooting for them since over 30 years. Guess what? We ain't even made the finals since I was a kid. You understand me?
Yeah.
So that's why I say for one champion, I don't care who if Jesus came right now and said, do A, B, C, and D, you'll win the title, get rid of this guy, they will be gone the next day for that one. And he said, but you're gonna have 10 years of being the worst team at basketball. I'll be like, sign me up. You know why? Because we've been there and done all that already. We've been the worst team in basketball.
Yeah, but we ain't got no picks to build up.
We had listen. If you go back to 2000, we had picks and tricked them off. Terrible draft picks, trading the good players away. See, that's a lot of stuff that I've endured as a Hawks fan over the decades. All this hope. Oh, we gonna get this guy. Yay, look at we got this guy. But
I'm saying at least after that, you could, if you had your draft picks, that you could at least tank and get solid players.
Guess what I'm gonna be wearing every day? That you win the title, Sports Illustrated put together a little package. You get the shirt, the hat, the fake ring, or the fake trophy. I'm gonna have all that. I'll suck. I'm gonna be like, but we champions. We got a title. We got a ring. See, we can't even talk ball with some of these fans because we ain't done that. We ain't accomplished nothing as an organization.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And it's time for, and that's why I don't got no sympathy for Tony Wrestler. Spend the money, because you got to spend money to win the championship in Milwaukee. 3 max players. Golden State. I don't even know how much they be paying. Their tax is probably on the roster.
They had a $500 million tax bill.
Yeah, because they repeat offenders. That's why it's so high, because they keep paying. They repeat offender. They pay the repeat offender tax.
Yeah,
but they sell out that arena. That's not what they don't care. That arena sell out, championships, marketing. You see, they make that money back. Meanwhile,
I don't think Wrestler got a problem paying the tax. I think the thing is, he's like, if we pay the tax,
the team has to work.
We better win. Like, I'm not paying the tax for a second round team. Like, you got to guarantee me your job. If I pay the tax, we're going to win, or we're going to come close. You can't guarantee, but you got to come close.
But you can't.
And I think they're hesitant.
When they got Kawhi, when they got Paul George, and then what happens? Kawhi get hurt. It's things
you can't guarantee. Oh. I'm saying I don't think no owner is going to be mad about that. But if you tell me to pay if you convince me to pay the tax, and I pay $100 million tax, and we're a first round exit or a second round exit, I'm gonna be mad as hell, and I'm probably gonna fire you. Because why am I paying the tax for a first round exit? You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't paying the tax for a first round exit.
We've been paying.
Yeah, so
we paid the tax. It ain't done shit.
Yeah. But they dissembled that team. I think that 61 team was the tax team.
Listen,
but a year and a half later, they disassembled it.
I don't care about Tony Wrestler. Spend the money, pay the tax.
So I don't think he got a problem paying it. I just think he wants to be assured that they're going to win.
Because he's scared, Matt. He need assurances. He's scared. Let me tell you what my daddy told me.
I'll be too. I'll be scared.
You know, my daddy
spend $125 million.
You know, my daddy told scared money don't make money, man. Yeah, bro. Spend that bread, man.
So Matt G, what is your take on all this? Because I'm curious to hear what you think.
I mean, I agree. Like, you got to spend the money, but at the same time, I can see his point where he's like, why am I spending money on Kevin Huerter just to, be a first round exit? Like, what's the point of going over? But you can't. Yeah, I agree with Demond or however you pronounce it. You can't be scared. You gotta go for it. If you're gonna be the owner, in my opinion, you just gotta go for it. But I think I like the moves we made, getting DeJounte. Some of the vets we've gotten, I think they're doing a good job in seeing if this could work. And I think if we show promise this year, I think he's going to go, I hope he's going to go all in, next year, if we show that we can compete.
Yeah. And then also little restrictions as well, like being in the tax, like you no longer, like you have the taxpayer mid-level exception, which is like $3 million. And then if you're not an attractive destination, you're not going to get anyone with that. Like, look at a lot of the teams that have a taxpayer mid-level exception. They don't get anyone. They don't use it unless you're a pretty decent sized market that can guarantee the player that they're going to win. So it's a lot of restrictions. Like, when you go into the tax, the way of adding to your team becomes very, very limited. And if you're not there and you see that you're one or two players away and your draft capital is flush, which I think our draft capital is okay. We have like 3 tradable picks right now. But hey, we are, it was a little, I was still on the DeJounte Hurry. I was still on the DeJounte Murray hype, but it was something interesting when we trade for DeJounte Murray on June 30th, and on July 1, Kevin Durant requested a trade out of Brooklyn. So it's like, you can't go after this.
I would have got my team for Kevin Durant. But Damon, you would have had to pay. So if you would have went into the tax this year, you would have had to pay it this year. You would have had to pay it next year, and you certainly have to pay it the year after because you got to re-sign Murray. So I'm saving a year by not going into tax this year because I'm especially with Nate as my coach. I'm already super hesitant because I don't think he's that coach to get us over to outthink and out strategize a playoff team to win. So I'm already a little hesitant. But if I can't pay the tax this year, not pay it next year, and then pay it again with Murray. You know what I'm saying? So that's conflicting. So if I'm paying it this year, I got to pay it this year, next year, and the year after that. And I don't know if Murray and Young is going to work. I don't know how that's going to work. I know Nate is not my coach of the future. And I don't know what pieces I'm going to need in the future or, with Murray and Young together. I don't know what I'm going to be missing. So I understand why they didn't pay it this year, but I guess I would pay it going forward. But I fully understand why they didn't pay the tax this year.
Just say you scared.
Okay, you pay the tax. You pay the tax 3 years in a row and you don't win. Then what?
You got to reset it, man. Reset it and find another.
So you're willing to give up when you were pretty much 75% the way there, go into the tax for 3 seasons, and then reset the whole thing again?
I mean, that's all you can do when you go all in. But when have the whole went all in?
I think we're going all in now. I think
name me one time you've seen the Atlanta Hawks go all in for a championship.
Maybe that's 61 season.
Well, but the mind. If we don't see Cleveland in the playoffs, do we make the finals?
Yep.
I think that's. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with losing to a prime LeBron James, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It happens. We can't win them all, but I'm gonna tell you like this: at least they got there. We can't even get there. And that 61 team, that wasn't all in. That was a budget team. They weren't even supposed to win those games that they won. That was a budget team. That was the same year Golden State started their run, 2015.
Yeah.
Nobody thought we was gonna win nothing. But let me tell you, they didn't go all in. You know what they did? They got scared. Because what did they do? They let DeMar Carroll leave. They just let the whole team break up. We ain't getting nothing out of that team. Nothing. And that's what I be saying. These dudes, the ownership, they don't be going hard like that. They don't be trying to win. You had a 60-win team. Instead of letting him leave, y'all could have built up on it. You know what they did? You let DeMar Carroll leave, and then you signed Kent freaking Bazemore to a 4-year deal.
Awful contract, by the way.
That was Bud. That was all Bud right there. That was all
Bud wasn't a good GM, but he was
in
my opinion, he was a good coach.
That was awful.
Now y'all see with the Hawks, man. I don't care. Pay that tax. I want to win games. I don't care about his wallet.
The only way for now, again, I understand that we're speaking from different perspectives here. You know, you being a fan for 30 years and me being a fan for, you know, not even half that. But I'll say this: the only way I would go into the tax is if I'm getting a player that, first of all, I will go into the tax if I can get a guy like a Jaylen Brown or a guy like that. But I will also go into the tax if I can get, and I'm not saying him in particular, but if I can get a player on the level of like a OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, if I can get a player like that, I think that, I'm not saying like the fit, I'm just saying a player of that caliber.
Okay.
I'm saying a player of that caliber, I will go into the luxury tax for, because I feel like I will be able to say, you know what? All right, we got Murray, we got Trey, we got Hunter, and now we got a Jaylen Brown, or now we got a guy. So you get what I'm saying? I'm just not going to pay the tax just to pay the tax.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not paying, because you got to understand, like, what I was for, like Travis and Landry, like their job is on the line. If they go into the tax and it doesn't work, they're going to get fired, because he's already is Demond. I see Demond drop. But if I know my job is on the line, why would I go to the tax and I don't know how Murray and Young is going to play together? I don't know if DeAndre Hunter is going to make that jump up to the elite status that we think he is. I already know Nate McMillan is not my coach of the future. It don't make sense to go into the tax, and I'm going to be blamed for it if it don't work. I'm going to wait a year, see how Murray and Young work together, see if Hunter makes that jump, see if Jaylen develops, and then I'm going to make that. And then I'm willing to spend to get rid of Nate. Then I'm willing to spend that $125 million tax bill. But I got to see how all those elements and components work first. Then I'm willing to flip John Collins for Jaylen Brown, move Hunter to the 4. Now I got Murray, Young, Brown, Hunter, and hopefully Onyeka. And that's a hell of a starting 5. I mean, to me, that's a championship starting 5. But
would you, agree.
Matt G, would you flip Collins for Brown?
That's a tough one. I think I would do it. I'd have to think about it though, but I think
I was shocked that was a question. I mean, I was shocked that was a question. I mean,
well, are you talking straight up?
Think about it. Yes, no, I'm talking about Collins.
And
let's say Collins, that Kevin Huerter pick. In 26 for
20. The Spurs own a swap in 26, so you can go 28 swap or 29 unprotected.
Yeah, something like, let's say the Kevin Huerter pick, 29 unprotected, and John Collins for.
We're talking about the same Brown, right? Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown, yeah.
So, yeah, it's not even the question. Yeah, Brad Stevens got on the phone today and said,
"Yeah, I would do that."
I don't think Boston does that though.
And says with his
you don't think so?
Boston will be pressured soon. If
they keep winning like they're winning, I mean, why would they?
But Jaylen Brown has a player option. He can.
I mean, if Jaylen wants out, then they might not have a choice.
He's unrestricted, rather. He's unrestricted.
Yeah, I think Jaylen's going out because he already told them he's not signing an extension. So, he's not signing an extension this summer. So, this upcoming summer. So, and they tried to trade him twice this summer. You know, what I'm saying? It's already questions about him and Tatum fitting. I think Boston would do it because John Collins fits their team better. 1, 2, they recap some of their capital that they gave up to get Derek White, which in theory I mean, which in practice turned out to be an awful trade. Well, not an awful trade. It turned out to be a bad trade. I mean, they gave up 2 first-round picks for a backup point guard. So
Yeah, but Brad Stevens, I think Brad is actually one of the more aggressive. But if he wants the deal to get done, he's gonna get the deal done. But listen, I'll say this. See, I'm an analytics guy, so I'm literally I sit here all day and I play around with the trade machine. So I know all the picks we have, and that's why I'm looking. I'm like, man, this Murray deal, I still think that it was a great deal for us, but it's like draft picks really do make a deal happen, in my opinion, without giving up significant players. So I'll say this. Just from when I think luxury tax in my mind, since I'm such a since I'm such a numbers guy when it comes down to the cap numbers and all that stuff, but I think luxury tax, I'm thinking we're gonna be signing old minimum players from now to the next 5, 6, 7 years. If we don't have the worst position you can be in, if you don't win a championship and you're in the tax and you know that you're 1 or 2 players away and you have 0 trade exceptions, no draft picks, you might as well hit the reset button because think about it. I'm not going to move significant player for significant player. So for example, I'm not going to move I'm not saying I would ever trade Trae Young, but I'm not going to trade Trae Young for LaMelo Ball. I don't think they're equal. But you get what I mean. I'm not going to make just a lateral trade, unless it's like locker room issues. So, it's like the tax has so many penalties. That's why it's called the tax penalty. It has so many penalties to it, to where it's like you're upgrading your team. That's pretty much out the window unless you can get like Daryl Morey somehow has gotten the best minimum players over the past years. Like he got Andre Drummond last year on a minimum deal. And that was pretty amazing. But no one's going to sign with the Hawks on a minimum contract, because most of the good guys are going to take a pay cut.
If you put so if I switch out John Collins for Jaylen Brown and I move Hunter to the 4, and I got Murray, Young, Brown, Hunter, and Onyeka, I figure a way to get rid of Capella. And I got that starting 5. To me, that's a championship starting 5. So now I can go get the Otto Porters, whoever else I can find on minimum contracts, and they're willing to come because I can't think of a starting 5 in the NBA that's better than that group. Now, Hunter will have to stay healthy the whole year this year to prove to me that he can do that. That way, I move him to the 4, and I got Brown at the 3. It's much more palatable as opposed to if he gets hurt again, then I'm kind of nervous to do something like that. Because if he can't hold up at the 3, he's not going to be able to hold up at the 4. But I think we need a move like that to put us into championship contention. A move like a John Collins for Jaylen Brown, something of that level to get us to where we're trying to go.
What you got on that, Matchy?
I mean, now that I thought about it, I think Jaylen Brown, I would do that deal in like a heartbeat. I think I just have attachment to John Collins, but yeah, like
I like John Collins a lot, but if he's separating me between the championship.
But if John Collins is being offered, and I can get an all-star back who's not a bad defender, yeah, I'm gonna take that. That's just me.
If we would have that roster and then find the right role players, that's definitely a championship team for sure.
If you can trade John for Jaylen, which I think is very doable, and next year at the deadline.
I just don't see why are the Celtics doing that? Like, especially if they keep playing well.
The Celtics don't want to lose Jaylen Brown for nothing. I think Jaylen Brown's already made up his mind that he's gonna, if not leave, he's testing the market heavily.
And remember, he's not. Go ahead.
What was that? You got it.
Oh, and remember, he's not a restricted free agent, so he's
right. He's unrestricted.
He's unrestricted.
He's
already kind of said he's kind of like At the very least, he's upset with the way that they treated him after he was the best player on the team in the finals. Like the fact that they were willing to trade him multiple times this summer. Because, they're clearly being around Jason Tatum, which is fair because he's the best player. But he's from here. There's a thought that he wants to come back here and play and help win a championship from the place he's from. So I think Boston, you could trade him you could try to hold on to him and convince him to stay, but you run the risk of losing him for nothing, as opposed to you're getting John Collins, who I believe in the right setting with the right usage could be an all-star level player plus picks.
I feel like they would ask for, I'm not sure how it would fit, but I feel like they would want John and then they'd want maybe Hunter or someone else. I feel like they'd need a little more. Maybe not. Maybe if they know Brown is gone, then they're gonna just take what they can get. But
yeah. I was gonna say if by that time the situation at hand is because situations can change, but I think if the Heat's turned up on Brad Stevens and Brown is already like, find a deal for me, I'm leaving in free agency. I'm not gonna give you a good offer. Like I'll offer John Collins, but I'm like, all right, I'll throw in the pick. We'll make it acceptable here, but I'm not giving you DeAndre Hunter. I'm not giving you Jalen Johnson. I mean, I will if that's like the separation between the deal, but like it's like I'm starting off with like John, first round pick. Give me Jaylen Brown right now. He's leaving anyway. He's coming to Atlanta. I'm gonna get him anyway. So just get assets back for him. John Collins can be on the verge of being an all-star. You get a first round pick back that lessens the protections as the years goes on. Just take that, and then if they say like, give me another first, I'll give him another first. Now, a world where you trade John Collins for Jaylen Brown and Clint, and you swap Clint for Gary Trent Jr. I think you're talking about a team that's gonna be unstoppable.
The only problem, Maggie, with them trading Hunter and Collins,
the contract would the contract.
Yeah, the money doesn't really work for Boston because they will have to add significant parts to the deal to make the money work. Because you're talking next year, and I believe Hunter has a trade kicker in his contract that they call it that poison pill. They will have to pay a significant part of his contract from the Hawks that season because in most trades the team that's trading you gets pays the majority of the contract in that initial season. I don't know if they have enough money, to be honest. I don't know if they have enough money on their roster to ask for Hunter because next year he's going to be at 21. Collins is at 25. That's 46. I mean, that's 41. I don't know if they have enough money.
Because
nobody else on their roster really makes a lot of money.
Unless they let Al Horford walk, who's making $26 million right now. And unless they say, you know what, Grant Williams,
he's on the minimum. I mean, he's a free agent this summer.
Yeah, but
he's restricted.
I'm looking. They don't. Yeah, and I'm looking. Boy, oh boy.
I don't think they got the money to ask for Hunter. They probably would. They don't. But I don't think they got the money.
Watch, I'm about to do this right now. John Collins. No, it did not.
But I think Collins and Brown pretty much make the same amount of money.
It's like a $5 million separation. So if I throw in Hunter, the Hawks would send out. The Hawks would intake $28 million, send out 33. The Celtics would send out $28 million, but bring in 43. Because you got to remember when the way the poison pill is designed is whatever contract you gave the player, that is going to be incoming on the receiving team's books. But whatever contract that you signed him for, like the little small rookie extension, which is like 9.8 for Hunter right now, that's what goes out on the team that's trading him books. So like RJ Barrett with the Jazz, like that's why like they were saying that a trade would almost be impossible to do Donovan Mitchell with the Jazz if they wanted RJ Barrett included. But yeah, I did also hear they were including him in multiple trade talks, and I wouldn't be happy either because I was clearly the best player on that team. during that finals run. We just made the finals. Why are you on the phone with not just Brooklyn, because that's just what was reported, but not just Brooklyn, but with multiple teams. I'm lagging there a little bit, but with multiple teams on the phone. And truth be told, they were pretty close to one of those deals, and it wasn't the Kevin Durant deal. So, for the fact that Jaylen Brown was this close to being moved is, in my opinion, ridiculous. And Brad Stevens, I actually looked at him as a good executive, but now I looked at that draft pick situation. You messed up your draft picks for the next. You can only trade one pick unprotected. Well, you can only trade one draft pick in the future because of the Derek White trade. So you traded 28. You never I'm gonna say this real quick. Whenever you make a trade, you never trade picks in even years. It's always gonna throw everything off. So you trade a pick in 2028, you can't trade one in 27, you can't trade one in 29. Whereas if you had you traded the 27 pick, you could have traded one in 29, and you could have traded one in 25. So right now they only have one tradable first. And quite honestly, that one first was included in the Kevin Durant trade talks, and that's like insane that they were willing to move on from Jaylen Brown. To me, that's like insane.
Yeah, I don't see. Like I said, I think Collins and Brown are straight up, and then I'm throwing in picks to make you feel better, basically.
If they said, now I doubt they would do this, but I'm only doing this, to kind of really tempt Matt here and to really to really test his general manager acumens here. If they said, I don't want any real first round picks, and when I say that, I don't mean like a protected pick from 1 through 22. I don't want any actual first round picks in the deal. Give me Jalen Johnson. I value him at 2 first round picks. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna walk away, or are you gonna do it? John and Jalen for Jaylen Brown.
Oh man, that's so tough.
No draft picks included. Well, let's just say they value him at 2 first round picks. Wow.
I'll have to think about, because I'm not looking at Jalen Johnson right now.
You're looking at him for the future, but you're also
I'm looking at what I believe is going to be with the right coach. So I'm not looking at him now. I'm looking at him in 2 years from now.
Jaylen Brown, right before his prime.
I would probably do it. But it would. I would have to be like I said, I would have to be 100% sure Hunter can stay healthy the whole season. I would have to be 100% sure that Murray is re-signing, and I would have to be 100% sure that we have the right coach. I mean, obviously, like I said earlier, I don't think Nate is going to be here past this season. Whether it's in season, I think it's going to be after the season personally, but I don't think he's going to be here regardless after this season. But if I got assurances on all those levels, then yeah, I would probably do that.
So I think now I don't know if Matt G would have as hard time as you did, Matt, but would that be something you would think about, or you would just do it?
Yeah, I think I would probably do that. Jalen and John for Brown. I feel like I'd rather throw in the picks than give up Jalen, but if it comes down to that, I think you have to do it for sure.
Yeah, and the only reason I brought up like Jalen Johnson is because I feel like Boston is still looking to win at that point, because you get John Collins, you're still in the luxury tax. So if you draft someone in the first round, you're gonna have to pay something to extend that player or something like that. I'm just thinking like any scenario. Do I think Travis Schlenk does that? For sure. Landry Fields, I don't know. Tony Ressler is like, yes, do it. And if I'm the general manager and I'm on the phones and I'm like, all right, I can trade John Collins, a non-all-star right now, and Jalen Johnson, even considering the future, for a guy that's not even in his prime, that has been to the finals, the best player in the finals, I'm going to do that deal and pair him to make a big three with Murray, Trey, Brown, and then I have the emergence of Hunter, the emergence of Onyeka, and then whatever we got off the bench, which I said, even if you do that Clint for Gary Trent deal, now I don't know. I don't know if you still have Gary Trent, because Gary Trent he's a free agent that same summer. So bringing him back would be a lot of money. That's why I was looking more at OG, and I still like Gary Trent, but OG Anunoby has 3 years left on his deal, $17 million. Gary Trent has 2 years left on his deal, $17 million. So that is something to think about. But you know what? I think that honestly, to be quite honest with you, I think that this talk is a little bit. I think it's necessary. I don't think this is just rumor talk. There is a legit chance that Jaylen Brown could be in a Hawks uniform very, very soon. Because if he tells Boston he's not re-signing, Boston has no other choice but to either make a trade for him to get him out of there, or they're going to lose him for nothing, which is not going to be good. But I do want to ask you this, Matt G. So with the way we're looking right now, do you think we win tomorrow, and do you think we beat Milwaukee? I don't think I got your take on that.
I mean, I'd like to say we do. I think we definitely should win tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I trust the team though, especially the bench, but I think we win tomorrow, probably by not a comfortable win, but I don't think it's going to be as close as yesterday. I think we probably win by 6, 8, 10 points again. Milwaukee, I think we can beat them, but I would probably, obviously my bias, I'm going to think they're going to win, obviously, but I think we can compete with them. I think it's going to be definitely a tough game, but in this next stretch of tough games, I'm just hoping we can, show that we can compete with top teams, and if we can just out of the Toronto, New York, Pels, Bucks games, if we can go 2-2 or 3-1 in that stretch, I think that'd be success.
Okay. I'm hoping that we can get all the games because, I feel like there's no reason we should lose to the Knicks. The Knicks, in my opinion, they're still not a playoff team. They're at best a play-in team. I still think that we're better than Toronto, even though I have a lot of respect for Toronto. I think it's a toss-up, but I think we're still the better team slightly. So I think we got to get Toronto. And then, like I said, coming back home, that's not easy games. We're about to see the season really pick up here. But right now it's good that we're already 3-1. I'd like to be 4-0, but it's good that we're 3-1. We got some wins. We got went over Detroit, Orlando, and Houston. Not wins that you're gonna look and smile on because of the team, but I will say that a win is a win in the league, and at the end of the day, like when it comes down to trying to make the playoffs, trying to get home court advantage, I think that you're going to look at a lot of the wins. Danny Brown says, when do you guys think Bogey is coming back? I think we need his spacing and shooting off the bench badly. I agree. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let y'all hop in there. I agree. I've been saying that when Bogey gets back, we're going to be a different team, especially with that scoring. I think he's going to be doing a lot of ball handling. But I feel like it's not totally we don't have to be going through this right now. You put AJ Griffin in the game, we're going to get that shooting. So you can blame your head coach for that. But I think that I really think that when I think Bogey's coming back, well, Matt just told me Thanksgiving, which I'm not happy about that. But
yeah,
if I had to make an estimation, 3 weeks, which is probably Thanksgiving, but 3 weeks. So I would say that. So what y'all got on? So I think all of us agree that we need Bogey spacing badly. I think we all agree
Mhm.
because we look awful off the bench shooting. It's just one of those things that I knew would be bad. Trading away Danilo, trading away Kevin Herter. I think Aaron Holiday can give us something on offense. But again, when I'm looking at Aaron Holiday, I want him to stay focused on defense because him, getting Cade, that Cade matchup yesterday, I think that was really crucial. But I think when Bogey gets back, I think a lot of teams are really not going to be able to keep up with us.
Yeah, I agree. I do think it's going to be Thanksgiving when he comes back. Maybe a little bit before Thanksgiving, as far as like when he actually gets on the court. But as far as being fully acclimated and getting his groove back, I think it's going to be Thanksgiving, or maybe a little after Thanksgiving. But I would like to see him play with AJ Griffin.
I do too. I want to see that
to
Aaron,
really space out the
Bogey,
floor.
AJ.
And have AJ making the decisions to facilitate it with that unit.
Yeah.
That would be
something.
A dream, with Nate. But
I was hoping that Nate would play him so that way we could kind of go ahead and have AJ in the rotation, then Bogey could just go. But I do want to ask y'all this. It's kind of like a funny question since we were talking about Thanksgiving. What do you all think Trae Young eats for Thanksgiving? I think he eats the leaves off the tree for Thanksgiving, and I think he eats pine cones for dessert. I don't think Trae Young definitely does not eat anything. First of all, he doesn't eat anything Nate McMillan eats for Thanksgiving. I'll tell you that much. But what do y'all actually think this man eats for Thanksgiving?
I got no idea on that one.
This dude is, there's something there's something trending around the league called the Trae Young diet, and it's totally plant-based. I think. Yeah. Trae is. I want him to say small because he's quick. He's quick, but he doesn't look like he's eating at all. He looks like he's out there looking like a small tree branch. But like I said, he's definitely not eating anything Nate McMillan eats. I think Nate McMillan. It was funny last season. I was joking around. I was like, Nate McMillan's definitely taking Trae Young's pregame meals. Trae was looking so small, and Nate just sitting over there. He's sitting over there looking all fool and just standing there. It's like, honestly, like I was talking to Matt the other day, and I was like, you don't think Nate McMillan is sitting up here like eating good? And Matt was like, I don't see it. I don't think he unfolds his arms for all that. And I was just like, nah, Nate is definitely taking Trae's lunch food, and he's definitely he's bullying some guys to get their food. Matt still doesn't see it though. He still thinks that Nate's a reasonable size. He's in my opinion, Nate's a little overweight for a coach, in my opinion. He's got a little bit of a stomach.
He's a little chubby. He's not that bad though, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's not Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, he's something else. I still think they're brothers, but because they coach the exact same way. But I've got one more. I think we've already really touched on this. But I didn't hear Matt G's take on it. I was talking to you the other day, and you were like, we can run the pick and roll, win a championship. I was like, I don't know about that. But if that didn't work, what other offensive schemes do you think will work or could work?
I'd like to see – I know we all said it in the offseason, but I'd like to see Trae off the ball even more than he is right now, like coming off screens. I think his catch-and-shoot percentages – I don't know what they are this year, but I know last year they were pretty good. So I'd like to see that a lot. I'd like to see John get some more post-ups. I like the first two games. He's getting a lot of post-ups, but I think if he gets some more post-ups, that could help. He's pretty efficient down there. And DeAndre getting to his mid range. I like that as well.
So, that's interesting. Because first of all, I don't think we're gonna see anything with Nate. But I think I said it last night. I want Murray handling the ball. I want Murray making plays for Trey. The same way, like I don't want Murray pass the ball to Trey and then Trey goes to try to make another play. I want like I want Trey to be a spot up shooter. I want Trey to come off screens. I want to see Trey as in he was a shooting guard or a bogey. I want to see Trey in that role. I think that we can take another step if he's in that role.
I agree.
But that being said, I have run out of things to talk about. So, which it was a good stream. We went 2 hours and 15 minutes. My guy Matt G finally hopped up there. I've been harassing him for the past few weeks. I was like, now you gotta hop up here, and then he was like, no, I don't think we're gonna do that. But he finally came up here, and Matt, it's not too bad, is it?
No, not too bad at all.
It's not too bad. So, but you know what? I look forward to doing more shows with you guys. Damon came in, gave us a lot of laughs. But I'm gonna call it a stream. We touched some very appropriate things. Always starting with Nate McMillan because I'm gonna start my hashtag fire Nate McMillan hashtag again this year. But we gotta in my opinion, it's gonna be another tough game tomorrow. Especially if Ivy and Bagley's back. I don't think Bagley will play, but I think Ivy will play.
I don't think so. No.
So it's gonna be a game that we got to come out and take. Hopefully Nate does not play Justin Holiday again. Hopefully he learned that Justin Holiday on Bojan Bogdanovic is not going to work, and hopefully he'll play AJ Griffin. But
doubt it.
I do too, but I can dream, right? I can dream that AJ Griffin's going to play and stay in the rotation, and Bogey's going to come back, and we're going to have all that space coming off the bench. But no, Nate's going to go with Justin Holiday, and he's going to keep running the same dumb lineups, and Justin Holiday's going to come in around the 6-minute mark, and it's going to be so predictable again. But it's fun. I'm gonna go argue with Matt on the top here about more trade more trade ideas that maybe including Jalen Johnson. I'm just playing, but more trade ideas, and I'm gonna be arguing with Matt down here who was just looking for someone else to blame. I told him, I said, join the club. I said, just blame Nate McMillan. I said, he's horrible anyways. I said, just blame Nate McMillan. But it was fun having you guys up here. Like I said, we're trying to get more of a consistent thing going. I got tired of just being up here by myself. So it's always fun having you guys up here. But I will see you guys next time. And thank you all in the chat so much for tuning in. I usually go through everyone, but I'm not doing that. But thank you all for tuning in. And Big O goes probably in December. Maybe if Travis Swing says you don't play AJ Griffin, I'm going to fire you. But that's to the point I'll probably get. But thank you all so much again for tuning in. We went 2 hours and 18 minutes. So one of the longer live streams I've done. But until next time, guys, it's been fun.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.
Have a good night, y'all.